From Today FM Ireland, this is the Ian Dempsey Breakfast Show podcast.
I think it was about maybe 7 or 8 years ago. I got a letter from the Guide Dogs. Would I be able to get involved with them? And at the time, I was getting lots of letters from different charities, and I really couldn't commit. But when I met up with the people involved in the Guide Dogs and they explained what they were about, I thought, yeah, I'd like to come on board, and I've been involved ever since. So it's like the mafia: once you're in, you can't get out. So no, it's brilliant. I'm delighted to be involved with them.
Yeah, there's also a Cork connection, isn't there? Because their facility is.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's based in Cork, which also might have swayed. Especially when I get home, I get a chance to get up to the centre and see the work they do. So no, it's a great organisation, I have to say.
And you do visit from time to time, unexpectedly, I believe.
Yeah, it's nice to go down. So, I've been once or twice with my kids and stuff, and it is nice just to go down and see the people, the volunteers who are doing a lot of great work down there, and to see the training they do. And as I said, I'd recommend it to anybody to call in and see the great work they do.
Okay, well, you're back in the T-shirts again there. It's like your old playing days here. May 1st to 6th, Shades, Irish Guide Dogs. And so it's great to have you on board with Specsavers and all the gang. So the other thing, of course, is Sunderland at the moment, the latest chapter in the Roy Keane story. When will it ever end? I mean, you've turned it around big time, haven't you?
Well, the players have. I have to say, it all goes on to the players. And, I have good staff around me, and hopefully that was one of the challenges when I went there to try and turn the club around. And, we've made a bit of progress, we have to say, but of course there's a lot of hard work ahead.
But I mean, you can say the players did it, but I mean, I think your attitude, your conviction has helped it big time. What do you think?
Well, that's an important part of my makeup. I think if you're going to do something, you've got to do it 100%, or else there's no point in doing it. And again, that was one of the challenges when I took the job. My plan was to maybe take a year or two out of football and relax with the family, but I had 3 or 4 months, and I think the wife and the kids were getting fed up with me at home, and then obviously I got the call, and I went up and had a look around, and I thought my gut feeling was, and I usually follow my gut feeling, was to say, why not go for it? And I've no regrets. It's an excellent football club. And
did you think that after playing, I mean, did you ever consider doing a Bex on it and going off to America and having a kind of a cushy few years, playing a bit of football, kicking the ball around?
No, well, again, when I left United, I had 1 or 2 options to go abroad, and again, my gut feeling was to go to Celtic, and obviously I have no regrets about that. It didn't work out the way I hoped it would, but and then again, the body was taking its toll. I have to say, the last 1 or 2 years, and when you feel your injuries, you kind of lose that bit of enjoyment. So last summer, I just felt, after speaking to the surgeon, that I think it was the best decision for everybody for me to retire. And when I say retire, to stop playing, right, but obviously not to stop getting involved in football. And no, I've no regrets about not trying other things again. At the time, I followed my gut feeling, and it didn't work out the way I hoped it would.
Could you ever see yourself being the manager of the Republic of Ireland, or Manchester United before that, perhaps?
No, again, the biggest challenge for me at this moment in time in my life is managing Sunderland. I don't think you can look too far ahead in football. If you'd asked me a year and a half ago would I have left United, the way I left and gone to Celtic, I would have said you're mad, but that's the way it worked out. But no, again, my biggest challenge is manager Sunderland. I have a contract there, and I hope to try and get Sunderland back in the Premiership.
And it looks like that's going to happen. I mean, I heard you being interviewed on Sky Sports recently, and somebody used the word could, and you said, I don't like that word could. I mean, how do you think it'll pan out? Do you think that it's a foregone conclusion? Do you think you're in the Premiership?
Far from it. Listen, you look at the fixtures we've left, we're third in the league. There's I think Preston behind us have a game in hand. If they win that, they go ahead of us. So it's it's all ifs and downs at the moment. But what we have done, of course, and that's down to the players and the staff, is we've given ourselves a chance of getting promoted. But again, there's maybe 8 clubs who think they can go up, and we're no different. But if we can do that, it'd be fantastic. But we know, as I said, we've got 7 difficult matches left, and we'll do our best to try and win all of them. Yeah,
you don't have a game this weekend, and the Croke Park game is on, but you're not going to be there. Is that
no?
And is there a reason for that? I mean,
no, obviously weekends usually I try and if I have a chance, I'll spend time with my family instead of going to a match. And I always felt when I become a manager, I wouldn't be going to see matches every day of the week. And when I have a chance to relax with my family, then I think it's important I make the most of it. And I'm sure I'll watch it on the television somewhere.
And what do you think of the progress at the moment as far as the Republic is concerned? I mean, do you think
I think it's been a little bit slow, but I have to say, but it's going to be very hard to qualify because of the previous results. But I think if the team are going to qualify, then of course they'll have to win the next couple of matches. And you look at the squad and you look at Wales on Saturday, and you'd expect Ireland to win. But of course, there's no guarantees in football, but they'll have a chance.
And who do you think are the key players, the Irish key players at the
moment?
Well,
we're hoping I think on Saturday it's going to be important that the senior lads, I know Steve Staunton's been under a bit of criticism, but I always think ultimately that it does come down to the players when they cross that white line. I think the manager, obviously, part of his job is to prepare them well and make sure everything is looked after. But ultimately, when the players cross that white line, it's down to them. And I think it's important maybe Saturday that the senior players, the likes of Robbie and then obviously Shea and Damien Duff and John O'Shea, step up to the plate and make sure they win the match. Simple as that.
And I mean, you say that he's been Steve Stone has been criticised. He's been written off by a lot of people as well. I mean, but do you think that there's still time there? Do you think that he's got a longer kind of a plan?
Well, I'm sure you'd have to ask the manager that. Again, ultimately you're judging by your results, and ultimately the manager will pay for it if the results aren't going away. But as I said, I do believe players have to take responsibility, especially the senior players. They have to take responsibility for what happens out on the pitch, and certainly the 1 or 2 performances previously haven't been up to scratch, and the players will know that if they have anything about them. But again, hopefully they can get a couple of good results over the weekend.
Okay, Roy, well, we've got some questions that were sent in to us on the telephone from some of our listeners there. One of them, a question for Roy Keane: does he live in Sunderland, and if so, how does he keep warm? That place is bloody freezing. I went to Sunderland Norwich game last year and I still haven't warmed up. That was from Liam in Glasnevin.
I have to say, yeah, it is freezing, and people did warn me about it before I took the job, about the wind on the training pitch, and if the wind is about 60, 70 miles an hour, it's a good day, I have to say. So it is cold up there, but I'm living up in the Sunderland area. Yeah. I'm just renting a house, and I'm looking at houses. I'm looking at some in the next few days to buy, and obviously to make that commitment.
Do you play football, any football at all, like five-a-side or anything like that? It was a question from John.
Yeah, I join in the odd day, but I don't think I've joined in for the last 3 or 4 weeks because again, I think part of my job is to step back and look in the bigger picture, and if I join in, then maybe I'm missing certain things that are going on the training pitch, and it is tempting to join in, but I have to say, when I do join in, I still feel my hip a little bit, so I have to try and look after the body and just leave the players get on.
I mean, John Cotter there was asking as well, would you be tempted to register to play in playoffs when Sunderland reach them, even to come on for the last 5 minutes and lift the team and the crowd and all that?
No. Again, I've had my time.
That's a bit of an ego trip, is it?
Yeah, that would be. I think, again, I have to count my blessings. I had a decent career, I think 16, 17 years, played at a decent level, and no, I'm very lucky. Again, my challenge now is to be a manager and to step back and look at the bigger picture.
Yeah. And also, I mean, Sunderland played in Galway there. Are there any other plans for any other Irish games?
I think there's part of our pre-season. I think there's a game in Dublin, and we're going to Cork, and again there's a game in Galway. So that'll be a nice part of our pre-season. It'd be great, obviously, if we've been promoted by then. But it's nice to open up and try and get more fans on board.
And if or when Sunderland get promoted, we'd say when, you're probably still saying if, but when Sunderland promoted, I mean, will there be a huge commitment with Niall Quinn and everybody there to actually buy more players? I mean,
there would have to be. I think that obviously Niall and the board are well aware of that. If, please God, we were to get promoted, we'd need to spend an extra few bob on getting some players in, but I think they'd be delighted to have that problem, and again, they've been quite supportive since I got the job. I've managed to bring in my own staff, make 1 or 2 changes on the playing staff, and they've been very supportive, and obviously it helps when you win football matches, but if we were to go up, again, it's a big if, then of course we would look to bring in 1 or 2 players to strengthen the squad, because the Premiership, of course, is completely different to the Championship.
From Today FM Ireland, this is the Ian Dempsey Breakfast Show podcast.